Welcome to Saving the Investor, where your money matters. I'm Alfie Townsend, and your retirement success is my business. Coming up on today's show, the perfect investment, alternatives to being in the market, wealth transfer, and much more.
Welcome to Saving the Investor with certified financial planner, investment advisor, and insurance professional Alfie Townsend, president of Advantage Retirement Group. Alfie is a published author, radio show host, speaker, and industry leader.
Why do you use an annuity? A lot of people use it for the wrong thing.
He works with retirees and pre-retirees to build and protect their nest egg and offers his experience to help those concerned about financial independence in retirement. If you've got questions about retirement, Saving the Investor starts now.
We're here in studio with the financial coach, and we're talking about a perfect investment strategy or a perfect plan. And really, there's a lot of people that are watching today that don't want to be in the market. There are alternative plans and strategies that you have that is outside the scope of the market, and you want to bring that to our viewers today, don't you, Coach?
You know, John, we're always talking about the market. We're talking about, you know, how to create that income. But there's sometimes we need to talk about, is there other forms of investing without being in the market? Okay, and I think today is going to be a fantastic show, and this is really what we call unemployed money. Unemployed money is money that's sitting in these savings accounts, these money markets. You know, it can even be, well, it's mostly savings and money market, just checking account, and this money is just sitting there doing nothing, absolutely nothing. So there's investments out there that I'm going to talk about. This one investment we're going to talk about today. But what would be your perfect investment? If you said, Alfie, what would be your perfect investment? And the viewers out there, what would be a perfect investment that you can say, okay, this is what I want, that it has to have this. So let's talk about, let's put some things up on the screen that would be a perfect investment for our viewers.
All right, let's take a look at that. The first one that we'd be looking at is being tax deferred. You know, why is that important?
Okay, well, if you can have an investment that's tax deferred or not taxed, you know, so you have tax deferred means that you're deferring the taxes down the road.
So you're going to eventually have to pay something when you take it out.
You'll eventually have to pay something down the road, but let's talk about tax deferred. If you have, you know, back when CDs used to pay something, and I had something that was tax deferred, a vehicle that was tax deferred, opposed to a CD where you're paying taxes on it every year. Now, the thing about it is, if you need the interest, it doesn't matter. But if you don't need the interest, you just want it to defer, then it can compound, and compounding is magic, because if you're allowed to let this thing compound, it will grow a whole lot faster than if you're having to pay taxes on it each and every year. And a lot of times you have to pay taxes on your Social Security. It bumps you up to a different tax bracket. So tax deferred is one of the things that you would want in the perfect investment.
Okay, so basically it grows tax deferred, and if they add to it or put monies in it, you know, that's tax deferred because it's after taxes, right?
It's after tax. So with this investment, that's a good point, John. With this investment, again, it's not for your IRA money. Okay, we handle all that, of course, but if you had money, you know, we call it that unemployed money that's just sitting there doing nothing for you, this is something that can make some money, and we'll talk about that, but you don't pay taxes on it while it's sitting in there accumulating.
So while Coach Alfie does the whole investment philosophy and strategy for you, we're talking today about those of you that have money on the sidelines, and really there's trillions of dollars that are sitting in banks, you know, CDs that are getting 0.5%, right? They could actually maximize or even have greater growth potential in what you're about to share with them today, right?
Absolutely. So the first thing we talked about was tax deferred. And one of the other things I would say is principal protection. This is something that you do not want to lose. Okay, so principal protection means that you put the money in and it's there for you, and that principal can never go down. That principal can never go down. So that is what you're looking for also, is principal protection. Again, let's compare it to a money market account, not paying anything. So this one is, but you have that money in there to protect your principal. You have your money in CDs to protect your principal. This has nothing to do with the market where it's going to go down. And if it goes down, you go down. This is principal protection. So we want tax deferred. We want principal protection. So, and the other thing is it has to make some money.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
You can't just have it run flat, and that's what most people are experiencing right now in money markets, even though they're making a few dollars. I mean, really, if you look at inflation, which we do face all the time, they're really, coming behind the eight ball, aren't they?
They really are. The retirees right now are behind the eight ball. They're going through really the lowest interest rate environment ever. And it's going to be like this for many years to come, John. It's going to have this interest rate environment that we're experiencing right now with the deficit that we have. It's going to be low. And I was at this fund manager, as a $50 billion fund manager. They manage money for Google and other, and it was Apple. And I was talking to these fund managers, and they said that this is going to be a low interest rate environment for many, many years to come. Many years to come. So with we're talking about the perfect investment. If you're just tuning in today, what would that look like? And of course, what we want it to look like is we want to have that money sit there and grow. If you're not needing it right now, it's growing tax deferred, so you're not having to pay tax on interest that you're not using. Now, if you use it, then you pay taxes just like you would. But it also, you want to protect your principal. You want to protect the money that you have in there. You want that to be protected, and you don't want it to be exposed where if we have another downturn in the market, that money goes down. Remember, we have working money, and then this money right here is money that's there for emergency. And so, but it has to make interest. It has some, meaningful growth. And with this particular one, John, the average growth over the years and years and years of doing this, the average growth in this is over 7%.
Well, that's awesome. That's what most people are looking for, aren't they?
7%. So now, there's things about that 7% that I'm going to talk about, but the growth inside is really 7.5%. Now, there's going to be an expense in there, and I'm going to tell you why the expense is in there. That will bring that 7.5% down a little bit, but it's still, again, we're comparing this to savings.
Yeah.
We're comparing this to savings.
You can't get anywhere near that.
So after I tell you what the expense is there for, you're going to say, well, that's a pretty good deal. It is no secret. An enjoyable retirement does not include running out of money. Saving money for retirement is one thing, but making it last a lifetime is another. When people who are retired or soon to be retired come to our office for the first time, often they have a plan for growth, but what they really need is a plan for predictable income and protection. To achieve financial independence, you need a clearly defined retirement plan. To validate your current plan or to put one in place, call me. Be one of the first 5 callers and receive a complimentary retirement review and planning kit, which includes an analysis that sorts through your current advisor fees, a plan to guard your investments in any economy, and a customized income plan that will create a predictable lifetime income. Remember, this retirement review and planning kit is completely complimentary. There's no obligation or costs. What are you waiting for? Call now. Another thing it has, what we talk about, chronic care. Okay? Chronic care. What is chronic care? Well, what if? Now remember, we're talking about the perfect investment. The perfect investment. What if you had to go into a nursing home? What if you needed all your money? What, for illness, okay? What if you need it for home health care? Okay? These are very, very important topics. As a certified financial planner, I have to look at not just growing your money, protecting your money, and giving you that income, but I have to look to see if you're going to be able to have home health care. If something happens to you, that is devastating. If you go in a nursing home, that average cost of that nursing home, you're looking at $7,000 to $8,000 a month. Now, if you have tons of money and you have income coming in, your pension, $8,000 a month, you might be able to withstand that. But most people that would be a devastation for their retirement, especially for their spouse at home, if they're having to pay $8,000 to $9,000 a month for home health care.
Normally they take everything they have at that point, and this is something that can really, when you talk about principle of protection, what I like is that you're protecting not only their finances, but it has incorporated in it. You're looking at the person's whole life, and
Yeah.
you offset a lot of things that could show up. Not that it happens in every case, but it's nice to know you do have that, isn't it?
So with this, what it does, John, it has meaningful interest. That means it's going to be able to make some money for you.
Right.
And
And on
the
average, it's been getting 7%.
Average is over 7%,
Right.
closer to 7.5% on the average on this. So you have that, and then you have, so that's meaningful interest, that's
Sure.
meaningful return.
A lot more than they're
you
getting
have
now.
principal protection. You also have an opportunity where if you get sick, you're not going through all your money that you have over here in retirement to pay for that. So you have some opportunities with this that you just don't have in typical investments.
Okay.
You just don't have in typical investments. And there's ways to pass that monies on to a beneficiary. Okay? So when you pass, we always call it when your will matures. Okay?
Right.
When your will matures, we're here. I always tell, it's doing this for 33 years, John. I have clients that I grown very dear to, and they pass. One of the spouses pass, and it's a very hard conversation to have.
Sure.
It's a very hard conversation. That what do you say when you know that person, and now they've been married 40 years, 50 years, and they call you, Alfie, my spouse, John or Joe just died, and so what we do is our team at the Advantage Retirement Group, we go into a whole different mode because we know what's going on. We're going to help those families out, and we're going to do everything we can financially and emotionally. We're going to help our clients out during that time. But that's but I tell my clients, I say, we're here just a short time.
Sure.
On this earth. We're just I say we're renting space. But if we can leave our clients in a good position when that income goes down, because that income goes down when something happens to one of the spouses. We're talking about losing a Social Security payment, possible pension. So with this, that can go pass on tax-free, and it's a lot more than what you put in from day one. Then we're talking maybe a lifestyle that they can keep. So this is why we call this the perfect investment, John.
Yeah, well, this is an incredible vehicle that Alfie is talking about today. For those of you that have money on the sidelines, maybe it's sitting in a CD or a money market, and you're only earning just a minuscule amount of money each and every year. He's talking about a principal protected, so you can't lose money. And over the course of this investment vehicle, has earned on average 7.5% a year. That's right, you heard him correctly, 7.5% a year. And it's important to note that if you want to get that kind of money, get that money out of the bank, out of a money market, you can call Alfie, sit down with him in Fort Myers or Naples. He will explain this strategy to you. You have absolute access to it, which is another beautiful feature that we're going to talk about on the other side of this break. But give Alfie a call at that number appearing on the screen. Fort Myers or Naples, two beautiful offices. He will sit down with you and he'll show you this strategy and show you why it might be right for you. It's not right for everybody, but it might be right for you and your case and your circumstances. Everything that Alfie does is tailor-made to each individual. He doesn't do just products and just sell the same thing to everybody. He's going to put you in the right vehicle for the right plan and the right strategy for your household. So give him a call at that number appearing on the screen. You also can go to savingtheinvestor.com, where you'll find a wealth of information about Alfie, his company, and all the services he offers here through the Advantage Retirement Group. Stay tuned. We're going to keep talking about the perfect investment vehicle right after this break. Don't go away.
Back when I first got in the business in 1983, we didn't have the internet, we didn't have the 24-hour news channels. We're inundated with so much information. I call it information overload. The real big difference is that you worked a certain amount of years, you made a certain amount of money, and you knew at 65 or 60 exactly what you were going to have for retirement. These days, the important thing is that you have to invest because you're responsible and you got to do it right. during the accumulation phase, that's when you're working, that's when you're accumulating your wealth, and you're going to invest different in that because you're still working. But when you retire, a lot of people don't understand taking the fruits of your labor and taking that income, making sure it lasts as long as you do. That's where I think we shine. What I can definitely say what we do different is with our radio show, with our TV show, we're making sure that they understand what they have. Hello, Southwest Florida. This is Alfie Townsend with Saving the Investor. We're going to have a great show today. We're going to talk about will your money last as long as you do? Our goal at our firm is to make sure that we are doing the best job possible, and we're looking out for our clients first, us second. Someone that's going to deal with your life savings and put a plan together for you, they better have integrity and they better care about what they're doing. The retirement years are so important because you don't want to have to go back to work. And you only have so much time in your life, and the last thing you want to do is just go back to work. So you have to make it right. There's no mulligans in retirement. Retirement for me and for our clients should be knowing that you have the right plan in place, and that's why we do what we do. My goal is to navigate our clients through the fog of investing. Am I able to buy this ticket to go see my grandchildren? Am I able to take that trip? Am I able to do things I want to do? And to put that plan together, know that they're going to have that retirement that they're looking for, and they can enjoy their retirement. That's why we do what we do.
Welcome back to Saving the Investor with financial coach Alfie Townsend. Call that number appearing on the screen at any time during this broadcast. Matter of fact, jot it down. Give Alfie a call. Meet with him in Fort Myers or Naples. You want to treat your wealth exactly like your health, and you wouldn't just take one opinion from a doctor. So get a second opinion on your financial planning. Give Alfie Townsend a call. He is Southwest Florida's financial planner, and he can meet with you in Fort Myers or Naples, whichever is more convenient for you. Two beautiful offices, and I'll examine what you currently have and make recommendations to you that will be beneficial to you well into your retirement years. If you're retired or soon to be retired, Alfie really specializes in helping those of you that are about to stop receiving a paycheck, and you want somebody that knows how to take what you have already accumulated and disperse it correctly throughout the year so that it will outlast you. Give Alfie a call at that number appearing on the screen and meet with him. We're talking about the perfect financial really investment or financial plan or strategy, and you talked about this, a couple of bullet points about being tax deferred and obviously great growth in the product, and also being in a place where they have liquidity to it as well. This sounds like a really interesting thing for people who have money on the sidelines, and really people who are leaving money in a mutual
like money market
money market,
and,
or CDs. They're missing out on a lot of opportunity, aren't they?
They are. So you have money that's sitting in, like you said, CDs, money market accounts, very conservative accounts, funds that aren't doing anything. Bonds, bonds. If you're the only bonds that are making money are long-term bonds, and they're the most risk. So a lot of times, people put money in bonds just because they don't know what to do. REITs because they don't, they want some income. So this is a vehicle that we've been talking about. It's called the perfect investment. So we were talking about tax deferred. We're talking about principal protection, because when you put something in something that you want guaranteed not to lose money, then this is it's not for everybody. I'm going to tell you, look, it's a perfect investment, but I'm not saying it's for everybody. And I'm going to tell you why it's not for everybody, and I'm going to tell you who it's for, okay? But it has averaged 7.5%, okay? You have 100% liquidity. What investment has 100% liquidity from day one? A CD has a 5-year maturity, 2-year maturity. Annuities have usually a 10-year maturity. This one is set up where if you needed all your money, you have it right then and there.
Right.
Now, what I tell clients is really a 3 to 5 year type of investment, even a 7-year. If you need it within 3 years, I don't want to give it to you.
Okay.
It's not really appropriate for you. And it also has wealth transfer. This money passes on to your heirs without going through probate, without going through delays, public record. So what type of investment do you think I'm talking about?
I really don't know, but maybe
Okay.
our viewers would like to know.
Our viewers would like to know too. So I'm going to say the word, you're going to say, what? I'm telling you this right now. It's really the new life insurance policies out there.
Really?
It's a
Life
life
insurance.
insurance. It's a life insurance that has some special features designed for our group that has 100% liquidity. Now, when you say life insurance, you probably say, well, that's for people, to pass
Death benefit,
on
yeah.
death benefit, and it has death benefit. You put in 200,000 in here from day one, it's almost worth 350 to 400,000 from day one. That's just an added bonus, okay? What you're doing this for is not the life insurance. You're doing it for the growth, and it's average 7.5%, 100% liquidity. And the other thing is this, is that if like I said, if you need your money, you have it back. There's a cost of insurance in there. That's why I say you don't get the full 7.5%. On the high side, it's about 2%. On the low side, it's between 1.5 on the average. So, if you take 7.5% and has a guarantee of 3 with a maximum of 11.5.
Wow.
Okay, maximum of 11.5, guarantee of 3. So if you take the cost of insurance, you're looking at between 1 and really 9.5% that you're going to make with this vehicle that does not have any risk, any volatility to it. It's not for everybody. Again, because it's for people that are usually between the ages of 50, 55 to 70. Okay, so if you're between 50 and 70, it's for you. If you're older than that, it's not really designed for you. But if you're in that age, it's a great vehicle. So I'm gonna talk to you about, when I say life insurance, I'm gonna take out a phone. What's this called?
That's an iPhone.
It's a
6.
phone, though. It's a phone.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we actually use this as just a phone?
No.
I mean, you make phone calls with it.
Text.
Okay. But what else do you have? You got texting, right? So we can text. When texting first came out, I said, that is so stupid.
Why would you do your banking right on there?
Why? Yeah, you can bank on there.
Deposit checks.
You can search the world on here. You can buy things from here. You can check your stocks. You can check your accounts. You can even has a flashlight. You can use a flashlight on it. It's a tool that has many things, but it's called a phone still. It doesn't make sense. Like this life insurance, if you think of it this way, life insurance, it's not just used for life insurance these days. It's used for all these features I just told you about. Talking about tax deferred. If you just joined in, we're talking about the perfect investment. So it's something that's tax deferred. You have principal protection. You have liquidity. You have growth opportunities to grow your money. Income tax free to pass on to the heirs. The thing about it is this. Life insurance is used for different things these days.
Right.
Okay. And, when I remember one of the policies I sold that I'll always remember of when it was purely life insurance, not for something like this, was to my sister from, my brother-in-law. And, he was in his early 40s when I said, David, you need to have a life insurance policy. You got my sister, now you have a 6-year-old. And you have a 3-year-old. We got it, and I had to really, hound them down because, oh, no, nothing's going to happen to me. Nothing's going to happen to me. Well, something did happen to him like 2 years later. And if it wasn't for that life insurance, then my sister would not have been able, at 33, when she lost her husband, would not have been able to sustain the lifestyle that she had, was able to keep going to school, to get her master's, and then the kids were able to stay in private school and get some help there. But that's life insurance for protecting a certain need at that point. This is totally different. You're not buying this for the life insurance. That's just an added feature. You're buying this to actually grow your money net of about 5% and have liquidity at any time.
Yeah, and really the growth inside this investment vehicle will pay for the insurance as well, right? Because it's taken out, obviously, out of each and every year of what's inside the investment amount, isn't it?
The investment.
I mean, they don't have to pay. Do they pay a
no,
premium?
No, they don't
separate?
pay a
Okay.
premium. No,
Right.
It's good. It's one lump sum. So if you say, okay, here's $200,000 that's sitting around in the bank that's doing nothing, and this thing would be averaging on an average of over 5% net of all the expenses and everything.
Right.
And you have access to that money.
Yeah.
And you don't need to take that money. If you don't need to take the income out to take that money out, John, then that money grows tax deferred, and you only pay taxes on it when you do take it out. So it allows you to take it out when you want to and not pay taxes on it every year if you don't need the money.
That's awesome. That sounds like an excellent plan for people that have money sitting on the sidelines. And if you're just tuning in or watching us today, we're talking about the perfect investment vehicle and strategy. And really, this is a life insurance product that's tied to this growth product that's going to help them increase more than they would in a regular banking institution.
Absolutely, because what happens, a bank, they have no other means to create interest on these CDs, because they buy the 10-year treasuries, they buy, bank lending is so low right now. So they're making their money on loans.
Right.
They don't care about savings. And our clients need income. They need protection. They need to have a plan in place, John, in this low interest rate environment. That's where we excel. We excel by putting that plan in place for them. And something like this, a perfect investment, give us a call because we'll see if you qualify. Not everybody qualifies because, look, you put in $200 and you die the next day after you get approved, it could be worth almost $400,000 from day one to your heirs. You only put in $200. That's the death benefit of it. You're not buying this for the death benefit. You're buying this for the growing your money inside that you have access to. Net of all that, your home health care and everything else, John, you get 5% on an average of everything.
Well, that's awesome, and this was an awesome broadcast today. And if you want to find out more information about this perfect investment vehicle, give Alfie a call at that number appearing on the screen. You can sit down with him. He has a lot of details and a lot of information that he shared, but there's also more that he'd like to tell you. You can meet with him in Fort Myers or Naples, 2 beautiful offices there, and he can talk to you, especially those of you that have money in a banking institution. You have it in a money market. It's sitting there earning just a 0.5%, 1% a year. You can maximize that and get anywhere between 1 and 11% each and every year, and this is averaged over 7.5%. So this is something you want to find out about. Give Alfie a call or go to the website savingtheinvestor.com. Until next time, it's always a blessing coming into your living room. Stay tuned and be blessed.
I'm Arda Boyer, and welcome to Mondo Uomo. 24 years ago, I started this business with the intent to bring the finest menswear to Naples, Florida. We have achieved that not only with the products we carry, but also, and more importantly, with the service we offer, providing you the quickest and finest alterations available in town to delivery of your items to your home. Let's not forget the designers that we bring to you. Come visit us here at the Village on Venetian Bay.